All right, got to see if I still remember how to do this. It's been a little while. Gonna shake the cobwebs off. So today we're going to talk about. So today we're going to talk a little bit about. Fuck. It has been a while. Okay, so today we're going to talk a little bit about creativity, a subject that seems to come up quite a lot. I used to see myself as one of the creative ones, or someone who had this like special gift or a superpower that other people didn't. It made me feel kind of special, you know, because people viewed me in a particular way. But looking back on it now, it was this perception that other people had of me that gave me this line of thinking, this way of like identifying as a creative. When people tell you enough times that they aren't creative or that they could never do what you do, you start to think, well, maybe they're right. Well, they're not. And anyone who thinks they are probably needs their ego knocked down a few pegs. Creativity or being creative is not something that you are, it's something that you become. It's just a process, it's nothing special, it's just a skill that can be learned. Perhaps it's just that some people are more drawn to becoming creative than others. You know, people often assume that creativity is reserved only for creative people or for the arts like dance, writing, music, painting, whereas I believe we can find creativity in almost all areas of life and that we're all wired on some level to be creative. But people can really identify with this word or the life of a creative, and I think that this is where the lines can get really blurred. Like if we see someone walking down the street with like wild purple hair, ripped jeans and tattoos, we're like, oh, that person over there is so creative. I mean, just look at the way they dress and the way they hold themselves. He, she, they, them must be so creative. But why? Because they dress or hold themselves a certain way? Sure, it's a form of creativity to do something differently to everybody else. But is that to say that someone in a suit and tie isn't creative? These external face value projections that we put onto other people is where it all starts to break down. Somehow we've ingrained this limiting self-belief that if we aren't living out that textbook cliche creative life, that we aren't somehow entitled to being a creative person ourselves. And do creative people have access to something that, say, non-creative people don't? Of course not. The only difference between someone who would be considered highly creative versus someone who only experiences fleeting moments of creativity is the time taken to allow creativity to flow. And it's no surprise that people believe themselves to be uncreative, what with the constant distraction of life and all, and little to no space given to allow creativity to flow. Well, when does creativity flow best, Ed? Well, I'm glad you asked. Creativity flows best when we're in a state of play. And when I say play, I mean exactly what you think I mean. I mean running around the playground like a little kid. Because when a kid is running around in a playground, there are no worries, there are no distractions, and there are no stresses that are entering the mind. The mind is free like a state of meditation, and it's here in this place that creativity thrives. For most creative tasks, whatever they may be, it can take some time to reach that playful state. Those initial stages of being creative aren't easy, but that's not to say that you aren't creative. You are. You just need to let your analytical mind step out of the way. Enjoy the process, knowing that eventually you'll reach a state where nothing else matters except for the task at hand. This is the point where everything starts to make sense. Time runs free, your mind is free, and all you can think, see, hear, and do is the task right in front of you. Have you ever been working on something, hit a brick wall, then gone for a walk, only to have the solution hit you in the face out of nowhere? This happens to me all the time. Where do these ideas come from? Do we just tap into a higher power or something? Or perhaps your mind just needed some time to do a little work in the background while you distracted your analytical brain with a seemingly unproductive task like going for a walk. We think in these tough situations that we can somehow think our way out of a problem, when all we ever really need to do is stop what we're doing and allow our creativity to breathe. Now, in the adult domain, play could look like going for a run or a dip in the ocean, doing a puzzle or going for a skate, cooking dinner on the weekend or getting a little frisky with your other half. Really, anything that frees the mind from the daily distractions and stresses that we all face. This is the space our mind needs to develop these new ideas while we're off enjoying ourselves. So if you're sitting there thinking that you aren't creative, just think about how much time you actually allow for your creativity to flow. So I hope this video was helpful. This is something that comes up for me quite a lot, so I thought it was about time I made a video about it. If you did like this video, then please remember to subscribe. It really does help, and be sure to give this video a thumbs up also. Until next time, keep creating. Bye for now.